Hey YouTube. It's been a while. It's been a journey, I have to say. Um, Welcome to my channel. This is T. Welcome to my cancer journey. Today I want to talk about body dysmorphic disorder. Now, I've been seeing a bunch of ladies talk up when it pertains to weight. And I was thinking, I wonder if I'm dealing with that. Because I noticed that I hadn't been looking in the mirror. And the reason I noticed I hadn't been looking in the mirror was because I went to the doctor the other day and I had a whole line of white crustiness here. And it was from me putting on that Olay cream to help my dark circles. So for me, and how it pertains to what I'm going through, body dysmorphic disorder for me is noticing the dark circles. Now, I know that you can't see the dark circles through my glasses, but if I take off the glasses, you'll see all of this. That is not the business. Not for me, anyway. For me, that's like admitting I'm sick. Even though I know I'm sick. I know I'm sick. I know this. But it's a constant reminder that me, I, me, just me. I personally feel I don't need to be reminded. I know what's going on. But the symptoms for me have been I'm not looking in the mirror. And when I go past the mirror, child, I don't even look that direction. And if I do look in the mirror, I am not really looking at me. I'm looking at the walls. I'm looking at the faucet. I'm looking at the soap dispenser. I'm just not looking at me. Or I might just choose to look at my hair that day or something. I'm just not looking at me. For me, it's just been. Wait a minute, let me turn this TV down for. They flagged me on something. It's been difficult. And it's made me not want to post because it's made me not want to do my eyebrows. It's made me not want to put on mascara. And usually, I had gotten to the point where I don't wear foundation anymore. I just do a little contour and some powder and a little lip gloss, whatever. But I hadn't been doing none of that. I just been walking out the house looking like, ooh, child, ooh, and not caring that you might think that I look like that. That's been like my basic thing. So for me, it's just been one of those things I've just been kind of dealing with. And then I had an appointment with my psychiatrist because, of course, as soon as you get diagnosed stage 4 metastasized breast cancer or any kind of cancer, the first thing they do is they give you a psychologist or a psychiatrist. And not so much to put you on medicine, but just so that you can talk to someone who's not trying to tell you, oh, just cut them off. They're only boobies. But they're my boobies. They're mine. I don't want to cut them off. I didn't want to cut one off. But people will tell you that. It's only boobies. Just cut them off. Don't give you new ones. Y'all, let me tell you about that. When I got my implant, it was a horrible journey. It meant getting the expander after having the mastectomy, after having multiple surgeries before the mastectomy, and then they still having to have another surgery because they still didn't get all of the cancerous areas. Now, once you do that last surgery to do that, you have another surgery, which means to put in the expander. Now, the expander is For most people, they need it because they've taken so much um, fatty tissue from you that in order for them to put the implant in, they need to stretch your skin and stretch the area where the implant's going to sit. For me, I was really full, so they didn't really have to do all of that with me. So I kind of still had a little bit to work with. I mean, I might have had like a beginner bra size, which I went from a really full C, almost D, to beginner on one side. Then finding out I'm allergic to the expander. Y'all, that was an experience. I ended up almost dying in the hospital with my mom and my youngest son, them watching me have a fever of 112 until they figured out it has to be the expander because that's the only thing that was new. It was the last surgery I had. And mind you, it took them like 4 or 5 hours to figure that out because they couldn't understand why I had a fever so high. But they knew that I had just had surgery like week and a half before. So upon doing that, they finally get my temperature down. Then they give me medicine. They give me antibiotics. The next day I have an appointment with my regular, I think you call it your, I'm finna say physical therapist. It's not. It's your doctor that does your reconstruction. At the moment, the name of him eludes me. But I have that appointment, and the first thing he says is, "Oh, we're going to have to get this out." Oh, okay, but we're in your office. What are you talking about? So they're trying to get me an operation room. There's no operating tables available. So then he goes, "Well, I'm going to have to take you to our surgery room." Your surgery room? What do you mean? Basically, their surgery room is another room, like how when you go in there for your appointment, except for it's bigger, it's got a table, and it's like a mini operation room. There's no giant, well, okay, no, I think there was one giant light. It was one, I think. Unlike when you go into surgery, it's like 1, 2, 3. I think it's 4. I want to say it's 4. When you, when I went in there, mind you, I had on street clothes. They had to tell my mom and my son, because they went with me that day, that I was going to have surgery. They're thinking because we're in the main hospital that, I'm going to the operating room because they made them go and wait where you go wait for people who are having surgery. So they made them go there. But I'm having surgery actually where you go have your appointments, but in a room set aside for surgeries. So I got a doctor on one side. Well, my doctor's on one side. His colleague is on the other side. Because I was so scared, because again, I'm wide awake. They're not putting me to sleep. They numbed me. I felt that knife a few times. They stuck me again with a needle, numbing me again. It was a horrible experience. They're laughing and talking like it's just everyday thing, just every day, You just bring somebody in that room, you open them up and, you know, pull out stuff and sew them back up, and it's a done deal. So the whole procedure took like, I want to say, if they probably hadn't had to stop to give me so many shots to numb me, 20 minutes? 20 minutes. So I'm in there with 2 doctors, a nurse, and I got a drape over me, and they're telling me to look this way because we look old. this way, they're on this movie. And if I look this way, I can see what they're doing on this movie. I didn't want to see that. So I kept looking that direction. So they're laughing and making jokes. And I'm like, look, I need for y'all to act like this is what it is. It's like emergency surgery. I need for y'all to act like this is emergency surgery. And they were like, oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. They said, well, we'll just add you to the conversation. You'll add me to the conversation? What now? So now I'm a dummy because now I'm in the conversation. We're laughing and joking. They're taking out the expander. He's irrigating me. So I'm wet. I got water all up in my hair, all on the side of my face. And I'm just like, wow, okay, we're really doing this. And they were like, well, if we don't do it, I'm afraid if we send you home and we don't do this, you might not come back. What you say now? I'm thinking, what is going on?